Well, all right. Welcome to another segment of Trait on the Tape. Today, we're going to be talking pass rush and sacks. And as you can see, we only had 29, second fewest in the league. But all right, first, before we get in that, we're going to go over this little diagram right here, this chart. There are a lot of people that's been talking about this chart that, it's kind of hard finding out who developed this. But what we're going to be talking about is that the numbers up top right there. And what those numbers represent are the defensive line alignments there. So you can see the left guard, center, right guard, tackle, and all that. But the numbers that we're going to be paying attention to is the 2-eye 2, 3, 4-eye 4, 5 technique, 7, then the infamous wide 9 technique. But before we get into that, let's talk stunts and games, okay? Because you're going to see a lot of this in the footage today, all right? So now, before we even get into it, let me just draw up a little half left side, a center and 2 guards, and then now the right side. And then I'm just going to draw up a full offensive line just so that we could talk about some stunts, all right? So let's just put some defensive players on it as well. So we got the end and tackle, 2 tackles, tackle and end, and then I'm just going to put a full 4 down front right down on the last one there, okay? So now let's talk about an ET, okay? When we're talking ETs, what we're saying is that the end is first and the tackle is second. Whoever's the penetrator, and then now the tackle is the looper, okay? So when we're talking these types of games, it's all about which one is first, okay? When we're saying tackle, it doesn't matter which one goes first. And here it usually happens right along the middle of the offensive line. So it could be either one of the tackles, whichever it is a tackle. All right, so now over here on the right side, now we're going to be talking about a TE. Now, the tackle is the penetrator, the end will be the looper, just like so, all right? The end is looping. And then also, every now and then, you can get a 3-man game or even the infamous 4-man game, all right? So now, what we're going to have here, and I'm just going to draw up real quick, is a TTE, all right? So now that tackle is a penetrator, 2 tackles a penetrator, that end is rushing upfield, and then now the other end is going to be the looper. There we go. This is pretty much all the stunts and games that you'll get in a game. All right, so now we're going to move on to, you also need to know about known rusher, knowing who the known rusher is. Very important when we were talking about this, all right? So now let's just drop an offense, and now let's just put some numbers out there. 96, 91, Big Fletcher Cox. Now we got 97. Then now you got 94 out there, and then now we'll just look at the linebackers. You got 49, and you got 58. All right, so now as an offense, one of the things you better do is declare who the known rusher is. You know that Avery most of the times is going to be the known rusher, because what you don't want to do is put the running back on him. You would much rather put the running back on Singleton, because then now at least you got a chance when it comes to protection. So that's what we're talking about when it comes to finding out the known rusher. So now let's get into it. All right, so here we go. Atlanta Falcons. Now, first game out, let's get it going. Let's see what this defensive front is about. We come out of this game with 3 sacks, 9 quarterback hits. Quite impressive. So now let's just take a look at it. Man, Hargrave did an excellent job on the guard right there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just creating pressure right out the gate. Let's take another look at it again. Look how he takes that one technique, takes that little jab step, then now he's after it. Over the right side, you got a nice TE over Fletcher Cox and BG. So now here we go. Hargrave did it all right there as a one technique, creating pressure. The center made a mistake by trying to slide to the opposite side. So here we go. Now let's just take a look at this. I know we went over the diagram and I didn't spend much time on it, but what do we have here? We have 2, 3 techniques, all right? So you'll see this throughout this game. But now what I want you to see right here, man, let's just take another look at this. Big Ridgeway here, all right? So now, first of all, you got Kerrigan coming upfield, rushing upfield, but then now making the quarterback step up. But then now Big Ridgeway is just doing his thing, just crushing the center. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now, let's just take another look at this one more time, just so you can see it. Kerrigan doing his thing, getting edge, makes the quarterback step up, but then Ridgeway just runs through the center. That's all you want right there. Nice layered rush for the sack. All right, so now we're going to move on to this next one. Now you got Fletcher Cox in the 1 technique, Hargrave is in the 3. So now let's just take a look at it. Again, you got good edge rush out of BG. Let's take another look at it. Good edge rush out of BG. The center goes to Fletcher Cox, but then they run a TE over the left side, which now Hargrave just keeps pressing on the guard. There you go, sack number 3. So now we're moving on to San Fran, all right? So now this game right here was just a little disappointing because you come off of a 3-sack game, but then now you see what happens here. 0 sacks and only 2 quarterback hits. So here we go. Again, 2-3 techniques or a 3-2 technique, but the guard slides to the 2. Keep pressing. Again, when it comes to sacks and coverage, to me, I think that coverage determines the sack Because if not, then, if the coverage is too far off, then the quarterback just steps up and makes an easy throw. I think for a sack to happen, coverage needs to be tighter. But again, here we go. You can't just rush down the middle of the offensive line, because as an offensive lineman, a slow death is a good death. So you'll see sometimes throughout this clip where we're just rushing down the middle of the offensive lineman. Then now here we go. We got the quarterback to move off of his spot, but again, coverage isn't there. He was able to make a throw. All right, so here we go again. Let's just take another look at it. All right, so now when you're on the road, it's always silent count, so you should be looking for triggers. But here we go again. Now he takes the inside edge. Again, you make the quarterback move, but again, you need coverage to be there to get the sack. All right, so let's move on to the next play. Here we go. We got a 3 technique, 1 technique, all right, on the inside. Now you're getting pressed, but again, you need coverage to be there, because if not, you're going to get a nice completion, all right? So now here we go, 2-3 techniques. Everybody runs right down the middle of the offensive lineman, which plays into the offensive lineman's hands, all right? So now we're going to move on. So now in this particular play right here, this ended up being a pretty big play for San Fran, okay? So now let's just take another look at it, just so that you can see what's going on here, all right? So now right up top with Fletcher Cox now, you're going to see what they're running right now is an ET. So you see the ET, no one else gets any pressure, coverage isn't there, bam, ends up being a big play for San Fran. All right, so now we're moving on, all right? So now most of these plays are third down plays. We want to go over the money downs, but again, look at what's going on here. If you run down the middle of an offensive lineman, you're playing into the offensive lineman's hand. You got to pick an edge. So now, this blitz right here I thought was pretty nasty, okay? So now let's just take a look at this. And, you had good coverage behind it. So now let's just take a look at it. Now you got your 2 linebackers there. You got everybody stacked to one side, but then now they run what we call a cross dog there, which almost gets home, makes your quarterback speed up the throw, and then we have good coverage behind it. All right, so here we go again. 2-3 techniques, all right? So now the center picks his poison, but again, that coverage needs to be there, all right? So now let's just take another look at it again. Now, everybody's running right down the middle of the offensive line, which plays into their hands. All right, so now we're going to move on to Dallas, all right? So now, we come out of that game, 0 sacks. All right, so now here we go. We get to Dallas. We come up out of that thing with 4 sacks, 6 quarterback hits. That's what I'm talking about. So here we go. 1 technique, 3 technique. So now look at Hargrave splitting that 1 technique, getting pressure, and Fletcher Cox is doing what Fletcher Cox does. All right, so now let's take it out. Here we go. You get that 1 technique. You try to get over there to him, but then again, Hargrave just does an excellent job of pressing through that double team, and then now frees Fletcher Cox for this touchdown. All right, so now here we go again. Now, if you rush right down the middle of the offensive line, you play into their hands. A slow death is a good death for an offensive lineman. Again, you know what? Here we go. You run right down the middle of them. They'll just sit there and hop, 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 and the ball gets out. So now, here we go. Now, just take another look at it. Again, hop, hop, hop. You allow the quarterback to just sit there, pat his feet, and then now he can let the ball fly. Here we go again. Now, at least you got him to move off of his spot. Now, this is a crazy throw on the run, but you know what? Hopefully that was called incomplete. All right, so in this next play right here, I just want you guys, you see the center points to the right, okay? So now you got Fletcher Cox. Look at this right here. This is absolutely amazing. And this is the Fletcher Cox I love to see right here. Let's take another look at this again, all right? So now center points over there. He's saying, hey, we're going to slide this way, all right? So now Fletcher Cox, look at what he gets. He got man on, all right? So now it looks like it's going to be a special move, but then it just bull rush. Run straight through him. That's what I'm talking about. That's the Fletcher Cox that you love to see. All right, on this next clip right here, this blitz is absolutely amazing. I'm just going to just check it out. Just let y'all see this real quick, and then we're going to walk through it, okay? So now, you guys remember in my talk, my first session when we talked about sliding man protection. All right, we're in empty backfield, so now that means we're in man protection. So center points out Singleton. So now what that means is that the right guard and right tackle are on a dual read. So now that means, look at what the right tackle has to do. He sets. Now you see 50 comes. Now he has to react. He has to push inside, but then now you bring Sweat off the edge and Maddox as well. Absolutely beautiful blitz for the sack right there. It doesn't get any better than that. I would end it there, but we have a lot more to go through. So I just pulled this real quick just because, here, look at our defense. We're about to get a sack. Oh, no, it's a screen. Okay, we got to get a little bit better at screen recognition. All right, so now here we go. We're moving on to Kansas City. A lot of clips that we have to go through here. All right, so now here we go. We come out of this game with only 1 sack, 4 quarterback hits. Now, when you're dealing with an athletic quarterback, you better be disciplined with your rush lanes, or you can layer your rush. Now, if you want to learn about layering the rush, you might want to listen to watch one of my other YouTube videos that I have out there. I did a really good thing on layering rushes. But right here, you have to be disciplined with your rush lanes, because if not, he will make you pay. Again, right here, if the coverage isn't there, bam, you're going to make them pay, especially when your defensive front is just running right into down the middle of the offensive line. All right, so here we go again. Take a look at it. They're dragging that one technique, working your way out to Fletcher Cox, creates a nice little pocket. Mahomes is going to make you pay. All right, so now on this one right here, here's your one and only sack right here. Great job by Hargrave right here. Now take a look at it again. Boom, cleans that hand. Now he's pressing. There's nothing that center can do right up the middle. There you go, a sack. So now here we go. Now take a look at this right here. Here's a zone read, just so you can see what it looks like against our defense. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next one. Look at this beautiful ET by Sweat. Creates the pressure, gets in the quarterback's face. He makes a bad throw. There we go. We got an interception right there. That's what we're talking about, creating pressure. You have to do it when you're dealing with an athletic quarterback. Here we go again. Nice ET. You got a holding penalty. You get hands up there in the quarterback's face. There you go. Force him to make a bad throw. That's what you have to do against athletic quarterbacks. But then now we get back to it, where if the coverage is too far back and we're not getting pressure, then now he'll just pick you off. And then now you get a nice little play action. He just flings something up there. And a touchdown. All right, so let's move on to the next one. All right, so now here we go. We got the Carolina Panthers. I need something positive. All right, so here we go. 3 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. And I'm going to start you out right out the gate. Here we go. Good bull rush right here. We're creating a little pressure. Look at Slade. Look at the coverage. There we go. It works hand in hand. That's one of the few, I guess, one of the 2 sacks that Slade had in this game. All right, so here, let's take a look at it again. Nice bull rush by Barnett, getting that tackle back into the quarterback's lap. Then now Big Slade gets out there, makes a big play for the team. 1 of 2, I believe, he had in this particular game right here against the Carolina Panthers. All right, so right here, you got 5 down, but you only rushed 3. So and then you got Avery trying to add, but hey, when you have confusion, you have touchdowns. All right, so now in this next play right here, all right, so now we got a nice ET right here by Barnett, but Hargrave, I felt like could have been a little tighter to it. But now let's just take another look at it. You got Fletcher in the one technique. Now he's creating good pressure up the middle. You got that nice ET right there. You know, the quarterback had to step up, made a bad throw. I think that added to him missing that throw right there. Now look at this pressure right here. Absolutely beautiful. Again, taking that one technique, cleaning that hand. Now let's get somewhere. Get there. That's what I'm talking about. Sack. All right, so now we're going to move on to this next clip right here, because we got 2 games right here. All right, so now right over the right side, you're going to see an ET. All right, so now that's Sweat that's coming in there crashing. All right, so here we go again. Sweat is coming with the ET, and then over on the left side, you have a TE. So now, again, look at what's happening here. Without coverage, the ball would have been out, but again, it works hand in hand. Coverage has to be there to give the defensive line time to get home. All right, so on this next particular play, we have a 5 down front right here. All right, so now all I want you to do is take a look at this play and tell me what kind of game this is. All right, that's our only pop quiz for today. What kind of game is this? All right, moving on to the next clip here, all right? All right, and in this clip right here, just look at what Fletcher Cox is doing. Going up against the guard, rushing right down the middle of him, bull rushing. But again, what needs to be taken, just notice is that, look, if the coverage wasn't there, the quarterback could have gotten rid of the ball. But instead, he had to step up, and he stepped right into a sack. Excellent work. All right, so now this is the next play. Now we're going 5 down. It makes the offensive line have to go 5-0. But look at that. Big play Slade showing up, baby. All right, so moving on to the next clip. Here we go, ET. All right, so again, I felt like Hargrave could have been a little tighter, but excellent job closing in on the quarterback right there. Excellent work. Let's take a look at it again. Now, there you go. Good ET right there. We got a game on the other side, but watch how Hargrave turns on the Jets right there and puts pressure on the quarterback. All right, so on this next particular play, you're going to start seeing how the receivers outside are starting to funnel our guys into the defense, our offensive linemen. So you'll see that from time to time where they just kind of funnel them in, and, you know, hey, again, coverage has to be there. So on this next particular play right here, hey, look at this right here. That's what I'm talking about. Coverage and pressure equals turnovers. All right, so now we're moving on to our first matchup against Tampa Bay. All right, so now 0 sacks, only 3 quarterback hits. All right, so now let's just take a look at this, man. I mean, Here we go. We're getting a good rush, but again, it's a screen, so they're not letting you go for nothing. All right. So now we're just going to move on to the next play because we really didn't get anything here. All right. Tom Brady is just surgical out there. He's not taking any time. He's seeing what's going on with the coverage. He is just getting the handball out of his hands and then bam, hitting receivers left and right. All right. Here we go. Here's one of the, let's just take another look at a rush here. All right, here we go. We get a rush. He sits back there, pats his hands, lets the ball go. We end up getting a turnover, I believe, there. But again, just look at it. All right, we're creating no pressure. Tom is just back there just throwing balls around. He even gave away that interception right there, but there was nothing that rushed him with his throw. All right, so here we go again. Now, there's one where we had a little pressure, but again, the coverage wasn't there. He was able to make an easy throw. So here we go again. So now you bring a blitz, and all he does is angle drop a little bit. All right, hey, here you go. Just going to throw this out here, another completion. Next play, we just going to breeze through these right here. You got Fletcher Cox, now you got Tom Brady maneuvering right here, throws a ball in extra coverage. I don't even know. Let's move on. All right, so here we go. Next game against the Raiders. Again, another 0-sack game, only 2 hits on the quarterback. This offensive line did a really good job against us right here. When you can't keep running down the middle of the guys, you have to kind of take some edge and create some type of pressure. Here you go. You get him to move off his spot. Now that creates a turnover. Again, this all works hand in hand. Rush and coverage works hand in hand. To me, I personally feel coverage determines the sack because it allows the quarterback to hold that ball just a tick. But again, when you're taking edge and you don't pressure him, all he does is just sits back there, makes the nice throws, and then there you go. Moving on to the next game. Let's just get out of this because those last 2 games kind of, I don't know, did something to me. All right, so now here we go. This is what I need. 6 sacks, 12 quarterback hits. Here we go. Now we go. Good pressure right here. All right, moving on to this next clip right here. Watch Sweat. Nice, clean, bend the edge. Now he's getting to the sack. Now, of course, for this to work, you got to have coverage to give him time because now the quarterback could have gotten rid of the ball, but it gives him time right here. So now there you go. Good coverage equals a good sack. All right, so now we're just going to move on to the next clip. Here we go. We got a lot going on this play right here. There's a lot to unpack here. So here we go. Let's take a look at it. All right, so let's take a look at it again. Now we got a TT up the middle. Then we got a backer in, and then now you just got Sweat just running through the offensive tackle. Whole lot to get to that sack. All right, so in this particular play right here, you got a tackle game up the middle, but again, hey, the quarterback didn't have to hold the ball, so now he made a good throw right here. Now Singleton did an excellent job right here because he is the one that created the problem right here, bringing Singleton right up the middle. Now the quarterback feels that. Barnett comes rushing upfield, and then now he finishes off for the sack. All right, on this play right here, you got Singleton lined up over the center. So now we're going to run a game, and then now you bring him around. I thought he was a little wide. I thought coverage could have been a little bit tighter there, but hey, completion. All right, they get paid too. All right, so now here we go. You got a nice TE over the left side. But again, that coverage needs to be tighter to give the defensive front time to get home. All right, another completion. All right, so now on this one right here, quarterback wanted to get rid of it, but then the coverage was there, which gave Hargrave time to be able to work that inside move, keep pressing on the inside shoulder. There you go. Sack, fumble. Excellent work by both the secondary and the defensive front. All right, so now in this next play, all right, so now we didn't create any pressure, but all right, secondary, let's go get. All right. Let's just move on. All right, so here we go. All right, so now we got our 2 linebackers that's pressed up in the middle right there. All right, so now remember the rules when we were talking about knowing to known rusher, okay? So now, center, you better choose wisely because what you do not want to do is put that running back on Avery. He is a known rusher here. All right, so now center does a good job. He takes Avery, but now the secondary, we had good coverage on the back end, which gave us enough time for Hargrave to get a hand on the quarterback. All right, so now on this next sack right here, watch this spin move right here by Mr. Jackson right here. All right, so now let's just take a look at this again. All right, this is absolutely beautiful. All right, so you stepping upfield. All right, you got the tackle leaning. Nice spin move. Puts the tackle on his ass. And then now here we go for the sack fumble. Good work, Mr. Jackson. So here we go against the Chargers. 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits. I'm going to say that again. 0 sacks. 0 quarterback hit. So let's just look at this amazing offensive line, I guess, that the Chargers have, because, it's absolutely ridiculous to go through a game and have 0 sacks and 0 quarterback hits. So here we go. Let's just take a look at it. Here we go. They're just doing a good job, just putting hands on our guys, and secondary is not there. Here we go again. So now, play action. There we go. Touchdown. Here we go again. So now let's just take a look at this. Maybe somebody can whiff him. No. All right. So there you go. Secondary not there. Pressure. All right. So maybe right here, is that a quarterback hit? Yeah, they didn't count it. All right. So now let's move on to the Denver Broncos, where we at least got 1 sack and 3 quarterback hits. All right, so here we go. Let's move on. Here we go. Let's get it. All right, so now we got Sweat coming with that crossbody chop. We're getting good pressure, but we didn't finish the deal. All right, so now, he has to bail out and make a little throw outside. So here we go. Let's take another look at another one. So here we go. He worked the bull rush. He's able to just step up into the pocket and make a clean throw. Secondary has to be there. It plays hand in hand. So here we go. Next throw. Quick throw. Secondary wasn't quite there yet. I'm not sure if that was called a touchdown or if it was out of bounds. Not going to worry about looking at the outcome of the play. But here we go again, because I just want to keep looking at the rush. So now let's just take a look at this right here, all right? So sometimes the chip block can help you, and sometimes it can hurt you. So here we go. Nice bull rush right there by Barnett. Comes up out of it. Hargrave is creating pressure up the middle. Coverage was there. Sack. All right, so now we're going to move on to this next one. So sometimes chip blocks can help you. Sometimes they can hurt you. Because look at that spin move right there by Barnett. Puts a nice hit on the quarterback right there. That's what you're talking about. That's what you need. All right, so now we get a nice TE up there. But again, if coverage isn't there, quarterback can just step up, move around, and get rid of the ball. So here we brought a nice fancy blitz, but it does you no good when the coverage is not there. All right, so here we go again. So now look at all this time. Look at all this time. He just misses the throw. All right, so now in this next particular play, you got a 5 down. But look at this, man. This is a 4-man game. Absolutely ridiculous. You don't see this much. All right, so a 5 down front. You got bringing Singleton all the way around. Barnett is applying the pressure to make the quarterback step up. And then now you got Singleton walking all the way around. You have to be tight as an offensive line to switch that up. All right, so here we go. You got enough pressure to make the quarterback make a bad throw. So here we go again. Keep pressing. All right, so now there you go. Coverage was there, makes the quarterback get out of the pocket. Moving on, New Orleans Saints. All right, so now let's just take a look at this. All right, so 0 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. Now I'm only going to just show a couple clips here. All right, so now you better look at this right here. Now, if you bring 7, you better make sure you get home because you are really exposed on the back end. So now let's just take a look at how things look on the back end. You better get home because, everybody's singled up on the outside. All right, so now let's just take a look at what New Orleans is doing right now. They have their receivers lined up tight to funnel our defensive ends into the offensive line. So now, pretty solid rush, but even better coverage. Take a look at it again. So now, again, look at the receivers. They're tight. They're making the defensive ends rush inside, funneling them into the offensive line. But again, I think the coverage was there. All right, so on this particular play right here, it's empty backfield. You see the center is pointing left, so that means he's going to the left. So what should the right side be doing? It's empty backfield. So we're in man protection. So now that means that the right side should be dual reading. But hey, they mess up. They don't take the linebacker, comes right down the middle, creates pressure. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so in this next particular clip, what you're going to see right here, just watch Fletcher Cox right over here over 51. Look at this good pressure on the 3 technique. Keeps pressing, makes the quarterback make some jacked up throw, and there's Slay right there to take that interception to the house. That's what I'm talking about throughout all of this, man. It's all about working hand in hand. Pressure and coverage, coverage and pressure. It all works together. All right, so on this next play, I just want to pull this because just look at how we react to the screen right here. All right, now you know what? The defensive line is starting to learn something. You're not just trying to chase after sacks, okay? So on this next play right here, just look at the protection. Good protection. Coverage wasn't there. Completion, all right? So here we go again. Now, Hargrave, excellent rush up the middle. But again, incredible throw, incredible catch. Coverage wasn't quite there. All right, so now we're moving on to the New York Giants here, all right? So now we end up finishing this game with only 1 sack, 5 quarterback hits. All right, so now here we go right out the gate. You got Fletcher Cox over here over the right tackle. Barnett is inside, but that's still considered a TT game. You got Hargrave coming around. That pressure right there mixed with the coverage created an incompletion. All right, so now moving on to this next clip. Now, we're going to watch this again because when you send this many, You're sending 7, and you got to appreciate what New York did as an offensive line and protecting right here. I mean, they protected the hell out of this. You send 7, you better get home, because if not, you expose yourself on the back end for a completion. All right, so now this next play right here, again, 2-3 techniques. I tell you what, man, Hargrave was just an animal with guards. I mean, here we go, applying pressure, getting there. And then you know what? Hey, secondary benefits from it, man. So here we go, moving on to the next clip. You never want to call a blitz into a screen, because, man, it never ends well. But here we go. That was a tough one. All right, so now look at Hargrave over number 67. I mean, he is just beasting guys out there. But again, coverage was a little off. All right, so in this next play, here's our only sack of the day. Here we go. And, of course, who gets it? Hargrave. All right, so we're moving on to the Jets. All right, so we finished at 33-18. All right, so now let's just take a look at it. Now we had 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. All right, that was all right. So here we go. Now let's just take a look at this right here. Again, pressure, coverage, interception. It's that easy. All right, so now let's just take a look at this next clip right here. All right, so now you got Hargrave doing what he's been doing the entire season, creating pressure. You get that TE right there, but the coverage is what created this sack, and I'm telling you, they work hand in hand. All right, so on this particular play right here, it looks like a 5 down front, but there's a little something different to it. So now let's just take a look at it again. All right, so now what you got right here, you got Avery that's standing over the guard, then Hargrave, Barnett, which gave a nice spin move to create that pressure right there, which helps with the game, rush the quarterback into making a bad throw. All right, so here we go. Again, take a look at it here. Nice spin move, nice gain. You got Fletcher over there over the right tackle. It makes that quarterback feel like, you know what, let me get rid of this. There's way too much going on in my face right here. All right, so now here we go. Again, coverage is what's creating this pressure right here, giving that defensive front time to get there. All right, so now we're going to move on to the Washington football team that are now the Commanders, or I'm not sure. But all right, here we go. We're going to just move on to the next clip. Here we go. We got a nice TE right there. Now, Fletcher Cox, welcome to the sack party, my man. So now let's just take a look at what happened here, all right? So now Fletcher keeps pressing that offensive tackle's outside shoulder. He's a monster when it comes to this right here, applying that pressure, especially when he's dealing with offensive tackles, all right? So there we go, sacked by Fletcher Cox, all right? So now we got Barnett standing up. You know he's going to be the known rusher. Again, when Fletcher Cox gets out there, offensive tackles aren't used to dealing with that type of big body frame, and he gets that good pressure, and then now here we go. We're getting hands on the quarterback. But again, for all of that to happen, coverage needs to be tight. All right, so right here we go. Play action. Oh, no. All right, so now we're going to move down. We got a 5 down front. We got Barnett over the left. We got Singleton over the right. Now, this blitz was actually pretty good, but again, you need the coverage there to give these guys time to get home. All right, so now we're going to move on because I think you guys get the point. All right, so our next game against New York, here we go. We did a little bit better. 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. Washington again. All right, so now this time I think we got 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. All right, so now the Dallas game, all right, we come out of there. We played this game with backup, so 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits. But now, here we go. We're going to finish this thing up, man. We're going to bring this puppy home. 4 sacks, 6 quarterback hits. Now, let's take a look at this now. We got Fletcher Cox standing up at a linebacker depth. I don't think we were fooling anybody. He knew we was coming, all right? So now, here we go. Whenever you have confusion, Brady will make you pay. All right, so now we're moving on, all right? So now I tell you what, man, Hargrave has just been destroying centers and guards the entire season. Barnett giving a good rush off the edge right there. There you go. That's what you're looking for, all right? So now Kerrigan, look at this bull rush coming off the edge. Again, creating pressure. Hargrave right up the middle. And then you got Kerrigan right here. Check him out with the long arm bull rush, throws him, takes him back inside. Hargrave doing a good job right up the middle, been dominating guards and centers the entire season. Kerrigan again, man, I mean, he was out there working these tackles, coming with that nice one-hand bull rush, then take him back inside. Don't even waste time trying to run him over. A slow death is a good death for an offensive lineman. So you just go ahead and you make it happen, then you get off of him. All right, so then now we need coverage to be there. Need coverage to be there to give the guys time to get home. Again, here we go. You're giving them too much time, Tom Brady will make you pay. But I tell you what, when our guys did get after it, man, they had Brady out there ducking like, sweet. I'm sorry. Hey, we've been through a lot for these 29 sacks, man. I'm up out of here.
And like that, he's gone.